Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to share with you guys again that my new update schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you hit the bell notification so that on those days you will be notified to when my video is up. Alright, so this video is all about my hijab story. My hijab story isn't like a lot of the other ones that I've seen, with the big realizations or anything like that. I just kind of decided to put it on one day, and I thought I would talk about that a little bit. So I hadn't really been studying Islam for that long. I had been looking into it. I had been doing reading. I'd been very interested in it for a while. One day I was watching some hijabi YouTubers, and I just decided, you know what? I'm going to put it on. I am going to put it on. So the first time I had that thought, I decided that I wanted to get like a, what do you call it? Made turban, essentially. They have a better name for them. But I don't remember. Just one of those pre-done turbans. And I said that I wanted to get it. I told my husband I wanted to get it, and he was kind of confused, but he was like, okay. So I got it, and I put it on. It looked terrible. It looked terrible. If I can find a photo of it, I will put it on screen now. But I hated how I looked in it. It wasn't a good look. But then I think the day that I tried that on. I was like, I look terrible. I hate this. But something in me was like, just try again. So I found this random scarf. I looked up a turban tutorial because that's what I was comfortable with at the time. And I just wrap my hair up, and I will put the first photo I took of myself wearing a turban up. I'll put that up now. I was just so proud and just so happy and just felt so good. Like, it felt so right. I think it was a few days later, like not even a week later, but a few days later, that I decided I wanted to wear the full veil, the full hijab. And because I'd been looking up a lot of hijab tutorials, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I am ready. And it's interesting because I see so many people struggling with hijab. I see so many new Muslim women saying, oh, I'm afraid to wear it. I feel like my community is going to judge me. I'm afraid that I'm going to get attacked in the streets. But those thoughts never entered my head. And I have family who are very Islamophobic. And I just it just didn't cross my mind that I should be afraid of wearing the hijab, even though I knew those people would be very against it. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to even say who those family members are, but they haven't seen pictures of me in hijab. But they will eventually, and how they react, I can't control it, but I just have to trust in Allah and His plan. And I think that is an important thing when you put the hijab on, to realize, to remember, trust in Allah and trust in His plan. Things are going to be okay. But yeah, I put it on. The first day I went out in hijab, it was a very exciting feeling. I remember, like, I was just thrilled to go out there for the first time. I was expecting people to be staring and all that. It didn't happen. I think the cashier maybe averted his gaze, but it wasn't like in a rude way. looking back on it, I think it was more of he was just happened to be looking down, and I took it as he wasn't looking at me. Um, so it is what it is. Um, and that's actually something I want to talk about. I know this is kind of a tangent away from my shop story, but I think a lot of people get wrapped up in what other people are going to be thinking, and when people look at them, they get very self-conscious. Um, I think what you've got to remember is people who are looking at you, the looks on their faces aren't necessarily hateful, because just because you think they are doesn't mean they are. The person might be curious, they might think you look nice, they might just be looking in your direction and happen to lock eyes with you. um, Most people aren't going to be hating you. um, yeah, people are going to look at you, but people look at everybody all the time. You kind of have to just let it go and take a deep breath in and think to yourself, is what's more important? What people think of me, what strangers, not even just people, but what strangers' opinions are, or Allah? Which one is more important? And yeah, because for me, I've talked a little bit about this before, how hijab is not compulsory, but for me, the hijab brings me closer to God, and I think for a lot of people it does. And so for me, when I think about it, I have to weigh, is feeling closer to God more important to me, or is the opinions of others more important to me? And every time it is Allah is more important to me. So that's kind of what has helped me not be so afraid of judgment. But of course, if you are in a place where you have legitimate safety like fears, I understand. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that that's happening to you, and I pray that Allah will bring you ease. But if it's all in your mind and nobody's actually doing anything, nobody's saying things to you, nobody's following you, nothing like that, they just happen to glance at you, just let it go. Just let it go. So back to my job story. I remember I thought my parents were going to freak out. I thought they were going to freak out. Like, why is she wearing this? No. They were just like, oh, you're wearing that now? Okay. Cool. I'm very lucky to have the parents that I do. They're very accepting, very loving. They were on board the whole way. So I just feel so lucky. Like, there was only one time I ever thought about taking it off, and this is what happened. Um, I wasn't feeling like I could represent Islam. Because when you wear hijab, when you go out into the streets wearing hijab, people are going to look at you and they're going to say, oh, you're Muslim. You become visibly Muslim. You become a representation of what Islam is and what it means to be a Muslim. So you have to be that, what's the word? Example. You have to be the example, so that people can look at you and know what Islam is and what it means to be a Muslim. You can't be being rude and like swearing and, being an awful person. I mean, I hope you're not doing that anyway, even if you're not wearing, if you're not wearing hijab, I really hope you're not like that. But especially when you wear this, you're representing an entire religion, and that's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility, and it can be overwhelming. Um, and I had gotten overwhelmed in that moment, and I remember I ripped it off my head. I was in the house. I had been practicing wearing it in the house because I wanted to practice new styles. I just wanted to get comfortable wearing it. But I was in the house and I ripped it off my head and I threw it down, and I collapsed on the bed and just out of frustration started crying. Then I just prayed. I said, "Grant me the strength to put this back on." And the next day I was able to put it back on. So that was good. Allah granted my prayer. I'm very thankful for that, and I haven't felt the desire to take it off since. It just feels so right to me. It feels like this is what I'm supposed to wear, what I'm supposed to look like. Even as a kid, I remember when I first learned about people wearing the hijab was very sadly after 9/11. So that is when our class started not studying Islam, but talking about Muslims. And unfortunately, they weren't painted in a great light, but they also weren't painted in a bad light either in my school. They tried to be very objective, but you know, the negative press, the negative news biases leaked in. And so you never really got the impression that the hijab was a good thing. In fact, we were actually straight up told about the hijab, not about Islam, about the hijab, that it was oppressive. And it's not. But yeah, so when I was a kid, like I was saying, once I learned what it looked like, people wearing the hijab, I remember after a shower, I would take my towel and I would wrap it around my head and I'd go, "Oh, this is what I would look like if I wore this. This is what I would look like. I look kind of cool." And then I would take it off. And I did that like multiple times throughout my childhood, even into my teen years, I think I did that. So that's actually kind of funny now that I like actually wear it, to think back on the days where I was just messing around with it for fun with a towel alone in the bathroom. Um, but yeah, so hijab has always been a positive thing for me. No, nobody forced me to put it on. No, nobody even suggested that I put it on. I put it on all by myself. Um, and I think that's really the way to do it. Before you put hijab on, try and think about why you're doing it. I think this is really important because a lot of, there's been a thing happening where a lot of influencers are taking their hijab off. And I think, first of all, we shouldn't judge them because Allah is the only judge, right? And then, secondly, hijab is not compulsory, they don't have to wear it. And then, three, there might be something going on inside of them. There might be an internal conflict. They might be having a hard time, and maybe that's why they took it off. And so you shouldn't be quick to yell at somebody. You shouldn't be quick to judge them because you don't know what's going on with them in their lives. They are just showing you snippets, the best parts of their lives. They're not showing you what's going on in their head, you know? But I think things that can help prevent you taking it off is to think about why you're wearing it. Are you wearing it for somebody? Are you wearing it for your parents? Are you wearing it for your partner? Are you wearing it for a friend? Like, did somebody tell you to wear it? Do you feel like you have to wear it for someone? Because I guarantee you, if you feel like you have to wear it for someone, you're going to want to take it off at some point. Maybe your friend or your partner, maybe you break up and then you're like, well, I only wore this for them. And then you take it off. Or maybe you get into an argument with your family member and you're like, you just take it off out of frustration to just like show them. You should be doing it for you. You should wear this for you because you want to. That's why I wore it. I wore it because it helped me feel closer to God. And that's why I wear it. So wear it for yourself. Wear it because you want to. And if you're wearing it because you want to and you want to be that representation of Islam, more power to you. Because there is, I believe it's hadith. There's a hadith. No, 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 no. This is from the Quran, where they, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up because I don't want to say something's from the Quran if it's not. But there's a part of something where they are talking about the hijab. They're saying that you take your veil and you draw it across your chest for your protection and so that you can be known as a woman of faith. So that is one of the reasons why people wear it, so they're known as a woman of faith. That's one of the reasons I wear it. I want people to look at me and say, oh, she's Muslim. I want to invite those conversations. So that's my hijab story. I know it was kind of all over the place and rambling, but that's kind of who I am as a person, all over the place and rambling. So, oh well. But I hope this was fun for you to watch. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like down below. Hit the bell notification so that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday you will be notified when I put a video up. And don't forget to subscribe. It really means a lot to me and it helps me out a lot. Likes help out a lot too. So thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.